Dai Mubai asked in confusion. Do you mean, the thing that was just shot out was a crossbow bolt? But where did your crossbow bolt go? Tang San smiled slightly and pointed to another tree behind him. Over there. As he spoke, he walked over to the second tree. This second tree was 10 meters away from the first. When everyone arrived at the tree, they finally saw the traces of the crossbow bolts shot by the Zhuge divine crossbow. 16 crossbow bolts, neatly arranged in 2 rows, were completely embedded in the tree. Zhao Wuji looked at the tree in front and then at the one before him. Xiao-san, did your crossbow bolts pierce through the previous tree and then embed themselves in this one? Tang San nodded. The Zhuge divine crossbow is very powerful, designed to penetrate soul power defenses. If the defensive strength isn't extremely strong, it can instantly kill. Upon hearing Tang San's explanation, everyone couldn't help but gasp. Such powerful penetration meant that, except for Zhao Wuji, everyone else knew they couldn't withstand it. Dai Mubai muttered to himself, This thing is too domineering. Even if I used my white tiger Vajra transformation, I might still get seriously injured. Tang San raised his hand and tapped the tree trunk. Using his Shentian skill combined with the controlling crane and capturing dragon technique, he slowly shook the crossbow bolts out of the tree. The crossbow bolts of the Zhuge divine crossbow were not easy to make. The ones that had entered the man-faced demon spider's body were obviously unrecoverable, but he was reluctant to let go of these ones here. As he tapped the tree trunk, Tang San said to Dai Mubai, the Zhuge divine crossbow can be considered a nightmare for ordinary soldiers. Moreover, its greatest feature is not its power, but the hidden and sudden nature of the concealed weapon. As long as it's loaded, it doesn't require any soul power to fire. Even an ordinary person can use it easily. According to my calculations, if a soul master below level 40 is hit directly, the chances of survival are very small. It is particularly effective against non-defense type soul masters. And Ning Rongrong asked, Tang San, did you develop this yourself? Tang San paused for a moment and smiled wryly. You could say that. He couldn't tell them that these techniques were brought from another world. Ning Rongrong tentatively asked, Tang San, can you sell this thing to me? You can name your price. You know I'm an auxiliary-type soul master with no self-defense abilities. When everyone is fighting for their lives, all I can do is assist a little with soul skills and watch. If I had this, I could have some attack capability. Tang San laughed generously. No need to sell it. I'll give you one. However, the materials to make this are expensive. You'll have to cover those costs. By this time, Tang San had already shaken the crossbow bolts out of the tree, and everyone could see the appearance of the Zhuge divine crossbow's bolts clearly. The bolts were 8 inches long, with no tail feathers. The rear 4 inches were cylindrical, and the front 4 inches were conical. The front 3 inches had 12 tiny blood grooves, and the tip was extremely sharp, glinting with a faint cold light. There was no wear from piercing the tree trunk. Tang San flicked the side of the Zhuge divine crossbow, opened the arrow slot, and pressed the 16 crossbow bolts back into the case. Oscar approached with a fawning smile. Xiao-san, aren't we good brothers? Tang San smiled slightly, understanding Oscar's intention. Of course. Don't worry, I'll make a set of Zhuge divine crossbows for each of you. Like Rongrong, you'll just need to cover the material costs. Making these is troublesome. I can only make one per month. Be patient. Also, don't use it lightly unless absolutely necessary. The bolts are hard to retrieve once fired. I'm just one person. I can't supply you all endlessly. Besides, the Zhuge divine crossbow is extremely lethal, and it can easily cause fatal injuries. Xiao-san, that's not right, Zhao Wuji suddenly said. Tang San was taken aback. Teacher Zhao? Zhao Wuji's face showed a sly smile as he glanced at the other students. These guys are not short of money. Your Zhuge divine crossbow isn't easy to make, so don't give it to them cheaply. Some of them don't mind spending money. Just set a price and sell it to them. Dai Mubai nodded. I agree with Teacher Zhao. Xiao-san, if you were to sell the Zhuge Divine crossbow, how much would it be? Tang San shook his head with a smile. We're all friends here, let's not talk about money. Dai Mubai said, we're friends, but we can't let you suffer. Such a small case can fire such powerful crossbow bolts, showing how complex the craftsmanship is. We can't let you work for nothing. Moreover, we'll need more bolts in the future. Should we let you make them for free every time? Don't be polite with us. How about this? The first Zhuge Divine crossbow is a gift from you. We'll just pay for the materials. In the future, if we need more, you must sell them to us. How does that sound? Oscar chuckled. Right, just like that. We all get decent allowances every month. This thing can save our lives in critical moments. It's okay if it's expensive. Tang San finally nodded. All right then. Since everyone is interested in mechanical concealed weapons, I'll try to help arm each of you. After all, having an extra weapon means extra security. Everyone was obviously very interested in the concealed weapons, and of course, this was largely due to the impressive effects Tang San demonstrated with them. After all, on his first day at Shrek Academy, he had used concealed weapons to make Zhao Wuji, whose soul power was over 40 levels higher, suffer. Not to mention the students, even Zhao Wuji was tempted. Finally, they exited the Star Do forest. Outside the forest, although the fresh air was gone, everyone felt a sense of relief as if a burden had been lifted. Let's hurry to the town ahead for a rest, Zhao Wuji smiled. Dai Mubai said, if everyone's in good condition, let's push on. Once we reach the town, drinks are on me. Teacher Zhao, you mustn't refuse this time. Without your help, we might not have survived the Star Do forest. Zhao Wuji smiled. Xiaobai, I know you're rich. But I can drink a lot. Dai Mubai laughed. Teacher Zhao, haven't you heard the saying? Problems that money can solve are not real problems. This trip to the Star Do forest had yielded great rewards. Not only had Oscar successfully reached the Soul Elder level, but Tang San and Xiao Wu had also completed the fusion of their third soul rings. More importantly, it had strengthened the bond and coordination among everyone. The entire Shrek Academy consisted of just these 7 students, so resolving conflicts was very beneficial for their future cultivation. The group rested in the town for 2 full days. Restoring soul power and physical strength didn't take that long, but they needed to relax their tense minds. Dai Mubai was very generous, covering everyone's expenses for 2 days. No one trained. They spent their time drinking and having fun together. Even Zhu Zhuqing, usually cold and reserved, showed a softer side. However, she still refused to let Dai Mubai hold her hand. Dai Mubai didn't push it. After all, she was just a 12-year-old girl. He wasn't in a hurry. 2 days later, they set off again, traveling for a day to return to Shrek Academy outside Soto City. We're finally back. It feels so good to be home. Oscar exclaimed dramatically. Zhao Wuji glared at him. Keep your voice down. It's dark already. All right, go to your dorms and rest. I'll report our trip to the dean. After a day of travel, everyone was tired and headed to their respective dorms. Tang San, wait a moment. Just as Tang San was about to return to the dorm with Oscar, Ning Rongrong called out to him. Tang San was surprised. Rongrong, what's the matter? Ning Rongrong bit her lip lightly. I want to talk to you alone, is that okay? Standing beside Tang San, Oscar's face stiffened. You guys talk. I'll go back first. Ever since he had saved Ning Rongrong from the Titan giant ape, Oscar's affection for her had rekindled. Despite her young age, she was already a beautiful girl. In the past few days, Oscar had been trying to win her favor, and Ning Rongrong hadn't rejected him, becoming closer instead. But now, hearing that Ning Rongrong wanted to talk to Tang San alone, Oscar couldn't help but feel a pang of jealousy, though he couldn't say anything. Xiao Wu looked at Ning Rongrong curiously. Rongrong, what do you need with Xiao San? Can't I listen? Ning Rongrong hesitated for a moment, then nodded. Xiao Wu pouted, made a face at Ning Rongrong, and then ran towards the dorm. Dai Mubai, Ma Hongjun, and Zhu Zhuqing had already returned to their dorms, so now only Tang San and Ning Rongrong were left at the academy entrance. Rongrong, what is it? Tang San asked. Ning Rongrong replied, Tang San, I want to make a business deal with you. A business deal? Tang San looked at her in surprise, wondering if she was reverting to her old ways.
Ning Rongrong, not that seriously.
Even though I know you might not need money, I really want to make this deal with you. But I can't make the decision alone, so I wanted to ask if you're willing first. Tang San observed that Ning Rongrong didn't seem to be reverting to her old ways. She appeared very serious and even a bit excited. Just tell me what it is. Ning Rongrong said, you know I'm from the 7 Treasure Glazed Tile clan. Although we are one of the 7 great clans and hold a high status, our direct disciples are all support-type soul masters. The auxiliary capabilities of the 7 Treasure Glazed Tile Pagoda are strong, but it's not enough to protect our lives. In battle, we are always the primary targets. I think your mechanical hidden weapons could greatly help us, at least providing some self-defense. So, if possible, I hope to place an order with you through our clan for a batch of these mechanical hidden weapons. Now Tang San understood Ning Rongrong's intention. But I heard that your clan has many subordinate disciples whose job is to protect those with the 7 Treasure Glazed Tile Pagoda martial soul. You even have 2 powerful titled Dolua. Isn't that enough? Ning Rongrong replied, that's still relying on others, not on ourselves. Besides, no one can guarantee there won't be betrayal. There was once an incident where one of my uncles was kidnapped by a clan protector. Although we made many rules afterwards, they are all passive measures. Tang San said, Rongrong, I'm sorry. I might disappoint you. If it's just for our group, it's manageable. I could make enough hidden weapons. But for your whole clan, with at least 100 direct disciples, I can't produce that many. Ning Rongrong, becoming anxious, said, they don't need to be of the highest quality, just good enough for self-defense. Wouldn't lower quality ones save time? Tang San sternly replied, Rongrong, don't mention that again. Either I don't make them, or I make the best ones. Ning Rongrong stuck out her tongue. Then is there no other way? An idea flashed in Tang San's mind, remembering how the Tang sect used to operate. Maybe he could. There might be a way, but I need to think it over carefully before I can give you an answer. Ning Rongrong smiled. That's good. Tang San, how about this? The first set of hidden weapons you make, give it to me. I need to show it to my father. Only he can decide whether to equip our direct disciples with your hidden weapons. If it works out, you must ask for a high price. Don't hold back. Haha, I need to go to bed now. Don't worry, I'll explain to Xiao Wu so she won't get jealous. With a burst of laughter, Ning Rongrong ran towards the dormitory. Watching her leave, Tang San smiled. Money was certainly a good thing, and he wouldn't refuse it. He knew that to make more powerful hidden weapons in the future, he would need financial support. He decided to think carefully about whether he could adopt the Tang sect's operational methods. After all, mass-producing hidden weapons wasn't something he could do alone. Back in the dormitory, Xiao Ao wasn't asleep yet. He was lying on his bed, staring at the ceiling. Seeing Tang San come in, he quickly sat up. Xiao San, what did Rongrong want? Seeing his anxious look, Tang San couldn't help but laugh and teased. Nothing much, just a little emotional exchange. Emotional exchange? Oscar's voice turned strange. Xiao-san, is Xiao Wu really your sister? Tang-san shook his head. Xiao Wu is my sworn sister. Oscar said, then, since you already have Xiao Wu, you won't compete with me for Rongrong, right? Tang-san looked at Oscar playfully. Didn't you already decide to give up? Oscar, embarrassed, said, but didn't you notice that Rongrong has changed since our trip to the Stardo Forest? She doesn't seem as annoying as before. Plus, she's still young. I believe her personality will improve with time. Tang-san lay down on his bed. Then you better work hard. Don't worry, she just wanted to talk about hidden weapons. Oscar was overjoyed. Really? That's great. Xiao-san, you're the best brother ever. Tang-san rolled his eyes. Cut it out. Get some rest. Aren't you tired? Closing his eyes, Tang-san's mind replayed images of his friends at Shrek Academy. Each of them was an extraordinary genius, mature beyond their years. He found it incredible that Ma Hongjun, at just 12, was already frequenting brothels, and that Dai Mubai had twin lovers. Was this what they called early maturity? After a tiring day, Tang-san decided to relax for once. Instead of meditating, he let himself fall asleep, knowing that sometimes rest could enhance the effects of training. This was a method of balancing work and rest that his teacher had taught him. In the headmaster's office, Flender listened with surprise to Zhao Wuji's account of their trip to the Stardo Forest. His expression changed several times, finally relaxing when he heard that everyone had returned safely. It seems we were too careless, Flender sighed with a hint of fear. Next time we go hunting soul beasts, I'll go with you and bring 2 other teachers. These kids are prodigies. If anything happened to them, it would be a great loss. Zhao Wuji, sitting in a chair, was even more fearful of any mishap, saying with a bitter smile, it's not your fault. Who would have expected the Stardo Forest to have so many unusual occurrences? We even encountered the husband and wife, the peerless dragon and snake. The appearance of the Titan giant ape was the most baffling. Considering its status among soul beasts, it shouldn't have easily ventured to the forest's outskirts. Luckily, Xiao Wu had good fortune, or we would have suffered a great loss. Honestly, even if we had 4 teachers protecting the children, we would still be doomed against the Titan giant ape. Flender nodded. But the Stardo Forest is the closest soul beast habitat to the Academy. We have no other choice. However, it seems that the Titan giant ape didn't have any real hostility towards you. Otherwise, even your martial soul true body wouldn't have saved you. Xiao Wu's survival is surprising. She mentioned a bull's roar. Could there be a soul beast in the Stardo Forest that resonates with it? The bull's roar should be from the sky blue bull python. A stiff and somewhat strange voice came from outside the door. Zhao Wuji was startled. He had heard footsteps approaching but didn't pay much attention, thinking it was a teacher. Now, hearing the voice, he realized it didn't belong to anyone in the academy. Ihaha, the knowledgeable one is here.
Xiaogang, come in.
The door opened, and a middle-aged man entered. His stiff face and straight posture made him seem a bit wooden, but his deep, dark eyes showed a hint of anxiety. If Tang-san were here, he would recognize him immediately as his teacher, the renowned master in the Soul Master world. Come on, Wuji, you haven't met him yet. Let me introduce you. This is my old buddy and Tang-san's teacher. Everyone in the Soul Master world calls him Master. Zhao Wuji was taken aback, looking at the master in surprise. So, you are the master.
Hello, I'm Zhao Wuji.
The master's tone was always calm. His stiff face managed a slight smile. No need for formalities, unmovable king. Have you returned with Tang-san? Is he safe? He had only heard the last part of Zhao Wuji's conversation about Xiao Wu being spared by the Titan giant ape. Zhao Wuji chuckled. Yes, we were lucky. Everyone returned safely. Tang San indeed lived up to being your disciple. When did you arrive at the academy? Flender answered for the master. He arrived 2 days ago. If it weren't for Tang San, he probably wouldn't have set foot here his entire life. Xiao Gang, take a seat. Hearing Zhao Wuji say Tang San was safe, the master's expression visibly relaxed. He took a seat without being polite. Only then did Zhao Wuji learn that the master's real name was Xiao Gang, a name that sounded straightforward yet full of masculine energy. He had heard many stories about the master before, knowing that despite his frail appearance and modest strength, his temper was famously stubborn. He had once distanced himself from his family over certain matters, which led to him meeting Flender and another person, forming the later famous Golden Iron Triangle. Zhao Wuji was very interested in what the master had said before entering the room and hurriedly asked, Master, what spirit beast did you mention that could attract the Titan giant ape? The master's face showed a hint of seriousness. If Xiao Wu heard a bull roar, then it makes perfect sense that the Titan giant ape suddenly left her. In the Stardow Forest, the Titan giant ape isn't the only king. There's an even more powerful presence. That presence is the true ruler of the Stardow Forest. If the Titan giant ape is the king, then it is the emperor. This spirit beast is the sky blue bull python. Both Zhao Wuji and Flender listened intently, silently admiring the master's knowledge. Zhao Wuji finally understood why he was called a master. As we all know, a spirit beast's strength depends not only on its cultivation age, but also on its innate talent. Just like us spirit masters, besides level and spirit rings, the innate strength of our martial spirit determines our future potential. Among spirit beasts, if we were to classify their talents, the sky blue bull python and the Titan giant ape would be among the most powerful. They possess unparalleled talent and formidable bodies. The ones living in the Stardow Forest have at least 50,000 years of cultivation. Although they haven't reached the level of a 100,000-year-old spirit beast, their strength is comparable to titled Duluos. Once they reach 100,000 years, they might even surpass titled Duluos. Zhao Wuji asked, Master, I've heard about the Titan giant ape before, but this is the first time I've heard of the sky blue bull python. What are its abilities? The master sighed slightly. Just as no one knows all the abilities of the Titan giant ape, no one knows the true abilities of the sky blue bull python. A titled Doluo once ventured into the Stardow Forest's core area, curious about what it held. Despite his great strength, he was ultimately frightened away. Why? Because of the sky blue bull python. Zhao Wuji's eyes widened. The master nodded. Exactly. As he prepared to make a move, the lake he was near started to boil. A massive bull's head emerged from the water, and the overwhelming pressure stunned the titled Doluo. The bull-headed, snake-bodied beast emerged fully, revealing its 100-meter-long body. It roared at the sky, swallowing the moon's light. The Doluo was so terrified that he fled immediately because the sky blue bull python spoke, telling him to leave. Zhao Wuji and Flender were shocked. Flender asked, why didn't you tell me about this before? The master glanced at him coldly. There are many things you don't know. The Titan giant ape shows fear in the presence of the sky blue bull python. Xiao Wu must have heard its roar, prompting the Titan giant ape to rush to its side. The sky blue bull python stays at the forest's core, which is why it's less known. Only a few, including myself, know about it from that titled Doluo story. Flender commented, Xiao Wu was indeed lucky. The master said, Zhao Wuji, I reviewed the student's files. This trip was to find a third spirit ring for the food spirit master, right? What spirit ring did he get? Zhao Wuji laughed. We were lucky. Oscar got a 1,000-year phoenix-tailed coxcomb snake spirit ring, giving him an excellent third spirit ability. A 1,000-year phoenix-tailed coxcomb snake? The master's expression shifted. That's great. My expectations didn't include such a good outcome. The snake is tricky and skilled at escaping, making it a great match. If I'm correct, Oscar's third ring should enhance his speed. Zhao Wuji praised. As expected of the master, you're right. Oscar's third spirit ability is a mushroom sausage that grants a minute of flight at the snake's speed. The master was surprised. This child's talent is exceptional, unmatched among food spirit masters. His future is limitless. Flender laughed. My Shrek Academy only takes in monsters. You just realized? This is our last batch, and I want to ensure they become outstanding spirit masters. With your help, within 10 years, Shrek's name will shake the spirit master world. The master glared at Flender. I'm staying only for Xiao San. Don't forget, you promised to accompany him for future spirit beast hunts. Flender replied, of course, but that will be at level 40. The master's eyes lit up as he turned to Zhao Wuji. Zhao Wuji, is Xiao San already at level 30? Zhao Wuji nodded. I was going to ask if Xiao San's changes were normal. He repeated the details of their journey, adding more for the master. The master listened carefully, his eyes reflecting deep thought. Despite his calm nature, his expression changed upon hearing of Tang San's near-death experiences and absorbing a 2,000-year-old man-faced demon spider spirit ring, knowing the danger involved. Finally, the master exhaled. Xiao San's willpower is even stronger than I thought. I didn't expect him to endure all this. His future is brighter than I anticipated. Zhao Wuji added, Tang San's resilience might be due to Xiao Wu. Her importance to him is clear. The master nodded. You're right. His strong will also plays a big part. Tang San is mature beyond his years. Zhao Wuji asked, Master, what about the 8 spider legs from his back? It doesn't seem like a spirit ring ability, and he's a tool spirit master. Could it be a spirit ring or martial spirit mutation? The master replied, I can't be sure yet. Spirit ring mutation is impossible. Spirit rings are fixed, though they vary with different martial spirits. It's unlikely to be a martial spirit mutation either.